Angie is coming to see me today. She is a 40-year-old paratoos. This is her third baby. She's 25 weeks pregnant, and today we're going to have a discussion about place of birth. Angie has a choice of having her baby at home, having her baby in a standalone unit, having her baby in a alongside unit, and having her baby in an obstetric unit.
Of course. What time have you got this week?
10.
When you're actually having a choice conversation with women and their families, what really is important is to offer them all of the options. Don't make judgments about what you think is important for them. Listen, ask them what is important for them. Give them the opportunity to have a conversation around their experiences, what their fears, their concerns are.
Going through your notes, I know that this is your third baby, and tell me about your first two deliveries. Where did you have your first two babies?
Both of them I had them at Barnet. The first one I was in the birthing centre, very straightforward. Well, it was a long birth, but it was fine. She was born in the water and that was lovely.
Oh, excellent.
Second one, he was very late. He was 2 weeks late, so I was going to go to the ward, the labour ward, but in the end I went to the birthing centre and had a water birth with him as well. But he wasn't born in the water, but
you used the water birth for the
I
pain
did,
relief.
yeah.
For this baby, what are you thinking about in terms of place of birth? Are you thinking home or?
Probably the same again. That would be lovely. I thought about a home birth, and I'm going to discuss that again with my partner, but having two small children, my son's 2 and my daughter's 3, I'm concerned that if it's in the day, I don't really want them around.
So is it a thing about childcare that you're worried about?
Childcare.
Really?
So it's easier really if I could go to the birthing centre, arrange childcare for them, have the baby and then come home.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through the choices that are available to you. So you've mentioned about a home birth. So with a home birth, you know, you're in your own environment, you're more relaxed, you have access to your own toilets, your own environment, you know, your own kitchen, you can walk around your home and be more relaxed basically because it's your own environment.
That's really appealing, I have to say, being in my own space and having my own facilities and all my creature comforts at home. That definitely does appeal to me. It's just the children factor.
There's also the option of having of giving birth in a standalone birth unit. So for us, that will be the Edgware Birthing Centre. Have you heard about that?
I have thought about Edgware. My concern with it though is that if I felt like I needed an epidural, ideally I wouldn't like to be transferred. I know I'd have to then go to hospital. So that kind of puts me off a little bit thinking about Edgware.
Really, there should be very little we need to say, only just provide them with the evidence and let them internalise that evidence in relation to their own needs and personalise it for themselves and their families. You know, they'll make the right decisions for themselves.
And also found that once the women know their midwives and they're very familiar with the midwives and they've had the same midwife throughout their antenatal care, the rates of transfer and requests for epidurals are also really low.
So it would be the midwife that I would have had before.
That's
That's really good to know, actually. That's really reassuring.
Yeah.
When Cheryl started talking about Edgware and particularly about one of that Angie would get continuity of care and would know her midwife, which is fundamental to the Better Births recommendations, you could see Angie's face change. She was thinking, oh my God, you know, maybe that's a really important trade-off for her, and knowing her midwife might, you know, make her feel that might be the best option for her.
You mentioned previously that you gave birth at the Barnet Birth Centre, which is the alongside birth centre. What was appealing about giving birth in the Barnet Birth Centre? What did you like about that?
What appeals to me about Barnet is just that everything's there. You know, I've got the birth centre upstairs, and then if I did need intervention, I haven't needed intervention with my other 2, and they've been straightforward, but everything's there.
So I've gone through all the choices of places of birth. So are you happy with what I've just gone through? Is there any questions that you'd like to ask?
No, actually I feel quite reassured, and I feel like it's opened up my options and my choices now, and now I'm aware of what's available. I'm going to go home and have another conversation with my partner and see which one we think would be the best fit for us.
Okay.
So thank you.
Good. I know I've given you loads of information. So there's a leaflet here that has been devised. It wasn't available when we first booked you, but it's available now. So it's got all the information that I've told you about. And there's more detail in the leaflet, and you'll find that when you do go for the leaflet, that current evidence does show that having your baby either at home or in the standalone unit is more beneficial to you, and you're more likely to have a more successful delivery either at home or in a standalone unit
Thank you very
when
much.
you get home. So you've got something to show him as well.